Huh? I had just moved that so that I could wash stuff.
Try to stuff out.
Yeah. Morning. How's it going?
Good, Mom.
Oh, you're gonna sing for everybody?
Singing you.
Go ahead, sing it. Sing it, babe. Come
Much
on.
pressure.
Aww. You are doing so cute. Good morning. Come on. Good morning.
Where? Oh.
It's great to stay up late. Good morning. Good morning to you. You just got out of the dentist? That sounds awful. I did, though, reach out to a new dentist over the weekend because I don't have one up here. So I did do the right thing, even though I hate it. Good morning, good morning. It's great to stay up late. Good morning, my darling, to you. When the band began to play and stars were shining bright, I need to order coffee today. It's too late to say goodnight. Don't let me forget. Huh? Remember, a lot of it was decaf and half calf?
Forgot.
Yeah. That was almost a month ago at this point. Sunbeams will soon smile through. Good morning, my darling, to you. Thank you, Liz. How's everyone doing this morning? I forgot you don't come on Sundays, and I did that. No Sunday book club. No Sunday book club. Hi, Mom. Mom is here, you guys. I wonder if we'll get some good voice characters for her to enjoy. She missed out on Saturday. When we had Mother Goose, which is such a bummer because that's a great one that she would love. If my mom had been here for our portrayal of Mother Goose, she would have loved it. My mom loves voices like that. She thinks it's hilarious. My mom's favorite voice from when I was a kid. Go ahead, Mom. Let's see if I'm not gonna say what I think. What should I say it at the same time? I don't know how to do it. Like, I should write it on a thing somewhere. Oh, Aladdin? Oh, you like that one? I thought you were gonna say Mrs. Miller from the Chipmunks. I just got Mother Goose in book 2 and I was shocked that she was human. Yeah, Mother Goose is human. Yeah. I thought you were gonna say Mrs. Miller, Mom. Who's seen the Great Chipmunk Adventure from the 80s or early 90s or late 80s or whatever? One of the greatest movies of all time. Catherine is currently showing it to Zoe, and Zoe is just as obsessed as we were when we were children. Has anyone seen it besides my sister and I, who have performed the entire thing in our backyard? You have? Okay, yeah. Great film. Classic. Amazing. Wonderful. No, Mom, we can't do that anymore. I'll get canceled.
What?
She wants me to do a voice that she used to have me do when I was a child, and it was appropriate in the 90s, and it is no longer appropriate for me to do that. Although, that being said, I am half Persian, so maybe I can get away with it. There's a character that Robin Williams does at the beginning of Aladdin that is mildly inappropriate for him to do, but maybe I can get away with it. What do you think? I don't know. You want me to do Snow White? Did you choose a date for the upcoming restock. We are voting on it on Patreon right now, and I will let you know as soon as they come to a decision. Everything that I do is pretty much voted on Patreon because, that's just what we all decided there, and so that's how we keep it fair. So hang tight. I'm giving them a couple more hours to vote, and then we will have a decision. It looks like the restock is going to be the 31st for you all. Don't quote me on that. But my mom also liked when I did, so from the Chipmunk movie, Dave leaves the Chipmunks with their, like, this old woman that he knows and to like babysit them. And she's hilarious. Yes. And she does things like this. She goes like, "Hello, David." And that's what she talks like. Oh, bye, Mom. She's missing out on everything again. But that was her favorite. That's why I knew she would like me to do Mother Goose, because when I was a child, she liked me to do that one. I used 2 of your cups. Oh, no, babe, I'm sorry. I used 2 of the cups that I usually use for you instead of 1 of your cups and 1 of my cups. Oh, well. I think I'm going to buy early access thing on Patreon for this one. Definitely, Lauren. It is a very big restock, oh, thank you, Jen. I'm so glad you feel like it's worth it. I think this is one of the ones where it's really going to be great, because how big the restock is going to mean that everyone can just, like, kind of go a little slowly, because I wrote this in the poll thing, but there's, like almost 100 of each type of slime. Most of them, except for the ones they voted that didn't get as high of votes. But, like, Flip Me Baby One More Slime, there is over 100 of. And then Reptar Cereal, there's over 100 of. Yeah, this one has the Friends slime. Probably making that today. I did, Shelly. I did. And Friends slime. And then like Watermelon Pop Rocks, there's over 100 of. So if those are the slimes you're looking for, you'll get them in early access, no question. Although we do have a lot of new people. As if... I can't remember if I asked Shira to make those charms or not. I need to look at that, but I do need to make that. Do I have the scent for that? I'm pretty sure I do.
Rinse it out. I'll use it later.
Yeah.
Whatever.
No, I couldn't figure out why I chose that instead of the ocean. Then I realized that you would put all my cups on the high shelf out of my reach.
Not true. There's like 9 cups at the bottom that are
Not
yours.
the coffee ones. Those are shot ones. They're too small for coffee.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So blendy.
We did not run. Next time I'll put mine at the top.
Because you're taller.
Sorry.
By a significant margin.
It was not intentional.
I know. So tall. Guys, see, your boyfriend is so tall. No 9 a.m. shots. Oh, no, not those kinds of shots, like coffee shots. They are coffee. He is correct that they're, but, like, did you guys see the one that he got me for Christmas? This blowfish. It's perfect for, like, a cappuccino, because it's cappuccino size, but it's not good for a morning coffee. But it does fit, like, a shot and then a little bit of milk. And then it looks like you're drinking from the mouth of a fish, which is hilarious. I love it. It's an inside joke for us, but it's very funny. And then...
No comments.
No comments. Anyway, let's go read. I think the higher tiers should get even earlier access. I don't even know how I would keep track of that, Shelly. Oh my God. I don't even know how my brain would do that. Oh, Shelly, will you message me later? I actually have to explain something to you later. And I need to send you the book thing. Shelly, can you message me or text me or something so that I don't forget when I get off of this? Yeah, honestly, if everyone shows up on time this time, you should be able to relax. No. I need to get you stuff, Shelly. I need to get stuff to you. Like, I need to email you some things, and I don't want to forget. Not only will you get something, you'll probably get a lot of things. If you show up on time to this restock. Yes. Thank you, Shelly. If you show up on time to this restock, you should get what you want. That is, them do be the facts.
Facts.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Whoa, the color with the straw looks mermaidy, and you guys can't see it. There you go. Look, it's got like the green part of the straw with this. It's so mermaid. I lolled at the Slimer TikTok video. The travel slime is hilarious, and so it's hilarious. It's me every time. Oh, this is so good. Thank you, Eddie.
Yeah.
If you have Apple Pay, it makes checkout faster. It's very good to know. I think I should make a video about that for everybody. That drink is the exact color of my nails. Nice. Yes, the video was very funny. Okay, before we get started on the book, does anyone have suggestions or requests for, I know, she's so funny. For the next, I don't have Apple products, therefore no Apple Pay. Fair enough. I think PayPal is pretty fast too, though, Sydney. Because it's got all your stuff already like saved in. I go 10 minutes early and make sure I'm signed in. I need to, I have more how-to videos coming today, so that should all be in there. Do you have any advice for new TikTok slimers? Ooh, that's so broad, sweetheart. What do you mean by that? That is a very good point, Cindy. Cindy, just so you know, I did pull out one unscented, we could leave the Christmas lights up for you also, because I did end up scenting it something that has pine in it. So I did pull one out first, jarred it up, closed it, put it on the other side of the room, and then scented the slime. So it should be fine. It wasn't anywhere near it. And I didn't put it on the shelf with them, so it can't be confused. The Bodyguard by Catherine Center. What kind of book is that? It's very similar to Folklore, Liz. It's like an updated Folklore. So I used Christmas Tree Farm and Vanilla Lace. It's such a good scent blend. I have to tell you guys, I was kind of blown away. I bought Fourth Wing, but I don't think it's appropriate for TikTok. I was blown away by how good the new version of the Folklore scent blend was, because there's no spicy incident. Oh, okay. It's similar to the other blend, but it's just like changed a little, and I was even more into it than I was into the other one. Like, it was somehow like making my mouth water. You know? You know what? I read Matthew Perry's memoir when it came out. Yeah. I want to make ASMR and slime reviewing content. I don't know how to make content people want. You know what? That takes a lot of research, darling. So I would just take a lot of time to do that. Have you read any time with the Truly Devious books? No. That does sound fun, though. I posted in the book club chat for things, so everyone can put these in there so that I don't forget them, because you know me. It was a great memoir, Amanda. I got it the day that it came out and read it immediately. I know that the sales of it have skyrocketed in the wake of his passing, but I was on it before that. The Naturals series, no, I haven't. I don't know that one. I've never even heard of it. I'm currently reading the Summoner series. Oh, what's that? Yeah, we got to figure something out. We need to read something, and then we'll read the last book of Land of Stories. I always feel like we need a book in between because it makes us miss them, and we get so excited when we come back. When your book comes out, are you going to do it? Yes, but I'm going to give everyone a chance to read it first. Like, I'm going to give it like a month or two for everyone to read it first, and then do it. Do you like Terry Pratchett? You know, I've never read anything by Terry Pratchett, so I don't even know, but I've heard good things. You know what, Anya? That's not a bad thing, right? I mean, we like to be like engulfed in a world for a while, right? You think I'd like it? Yeah, I've heard good things. We like being engulfed in like a whole world, a whole series, you know? Anyway, we'll find something fun. Maybe I mean, do we take a risk on another TikTok author?
Oh,
Are you oh-knowing at me?
the concept?
Yeah.
Oh, we do.
Everyone is telling me no. So so this is the thing that I'm struggling with, right? Like, I mean, Shelly, I don't turn anything away. I just, make sure that it's in the, like, I've read a lot of modern romance books with characters like that, Shelly, because that's my chosen genre. Yeah. Me too, Kristen, pretty much. I don't even really like fantasy very much. I bought a fantasy book because I liked the author, and it's been really hard for me to get through, even though I can tell it's well written. It's just like a slog for me personally. So, hers has it is, Kristen. You might like it. Kristen, do you read? Did you read the Night and Its Moon, that series? You know, Piper CJ's the author. She's a TikTok folklorist, which is how I found her and fell in love with her content. She makes amazing content, and her book is well done. It's traditionally published now. I have Amanda, yeah. But that's not really like for this kind of book club, which I don't think you were suggesting anyway. Yeah, her book is great. She self-published her book, and it did so well that she got picked up by traditional publishers, and now her entire life is writing books because they signed her on for a 4-book series and then a second 4-book series. So yeah, now she publishes with Bloom, which I believe is the same company that does like Tessa Bailey and all them. So we're talking like a pretty big publishing house. Hey, Persona, long time no see. So anyway, we'll jump into it and let's get reading, but let's start thinking about our next book because this is all we have left. So I'm gonna have to order something. Idea to expand book club, monthly book club where we read and meet on Zoom. Yeah, that would be amazing, provided that you could give me a few more hours in the day, Kristen. What's Just Mercy? I don't know that one. Read separately. Yeah, no, I know. It would be fun. We should do that. Once I get a better handle on things and after my book is out, maybe we'll add that on. Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell is the title. I don't know why I kept thinking Dr. Jekyll. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Boop, 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 boop. You know what's funny? I have a friend named Joanna Strange, and her husband's name is Jonathan. Weird. Anyway, let's get to reading, and we'll figure this all out. This chapter 17 is called Regrouping. Alex and Connor stepped through the beam of light and found themselves somewhere near the base of the northern mountains in the Northern Kingdom. If it weren't for the range of snowy peaks stretching across the horizon, they wouldn't have recognized the land of stories. The smoky sky and prominent burning smell in the air made them feel like they'd stepped into a war zone, not the world of classic fairy tales. But unfortunately, these days, they were one and the same. This place looks awful, Connor said. What has Uncle Lloyd done to it? Well, we're not that far from the Northern Palace, Alex said. Let's sneak over and take a look. It might give us some information. The twins picked up the Emerald storybook from the ground next to them and traveled through the woods of the Northern Kingdom, carefully avoiding the roads and the paths to stay out of sight. Soon, the green domes of the Northern Palace came into view above the trees, and the twins crept closer to get a glimpse of it. If the Northern Palace was any indication, the fairy tale world was in the worst shape it had ever been in. Snow White's former home was so battered it was a miracle parts of it were even standing. Captain Hook's flying ship, the Jolly Roger, hovered above the palace like a docked hot air balloon. The grounds were covered with groups of patrolling Winkies and card soldiers. On the front lawns of the palace, the twins saw villagers constructing enormous statues to the Wicked Witch,
of the West, Captain Hook, and the Queen of Hearts. They were watched over by a flock of flying monkeys that had pushed and kicked the villagers as they carried supplies past them. "What have they done to Swan Lake?" Connor exclaimed. "All the villagers in the kingdoms must be in there." "Look up there," Alex said. She pointed to the balcony where Captain Hook, the Queen of Hearts, and the Wicked Witch of the West watched the villagers build their monuments. The villains were seated on large cushioned chairs and were being served drinks and sweets by Mr. Smee. "Where's Uncle Lloyd?" Alex asked. "Why isn't he sitting there with him or having his own statue constructed?" "It is weird, isn't it?" Connor said. "Let's get to the cave. I guess the others will know." Alex and her held on to her brother tightly, and with a bright flash of light, she magically transported them into the cave in the mountains. They were expecting to find their friends, the merry men, the lost boy. They were expecting to find their friends, the merry men, the lost boys, the soldiers from the northern and charming kingdoms inside, but there wasn't a trace of any of them anywhere. The cave was completely empty. "Well, where did everybody go?" Alex asked. "You don't think they were found and captured, do you?" Connor looked around the vacant cave, fearing the same thing. No, they would have put up a fight," he said. "There's no sign of struggle anywhere. They must have moved to a different location." "Well, maybe they left a clue behind so we'd know where to find them," Alex said. She and Connor searched the cave, but they didn't even find a footprint that could lead them in the right direction. They stepped out of the cave and looked around at the forest and the mountains surrounding them. Something large emerged from the trees and caught Connor's eye. "I don't think they left something behind. I think they left someone behind," he said. Connor gestured into the woods ahead where a chubby unicorn with a broken horn stood. "Cornelius!" Alex said excitedly. The twins ran to the unicorn and gave him a huge hug. He was so happy to see them. He neighed eagerly and did an animated dance with his front hooves. "Cornelius, we were looking for Jack and Goldilocks," Alex said. "Do you know where they and the others went?" The unicorn nodded his large head up and down. "Well, could you take us there?" Connor asked. The unicorn knelt to the ground and the twins climbed on his back. His horn glowed like a lantern and he raced through the forest faster than any normal horse could. Although they zipped past trees at a high speed, the twins could tell how empty the woods were. They didn't see a single living thing in the forest besides each other. Cornelius took Alex and Connor deep into Dwarf Forest and to the West Hills. Neither had been to these parts of the woods before, so they didn't know what to expect or what to look for. The unicorn stopped at a large boulder sticking into the hillside. "Are you sure this is it?" Alex asked. Cornelius nodded, but even the unicorn was baffled. Jack and Goldilocks had left him near the cave in case the twins returned, knowing his magic horn would guide them to their new location. But they didn't give him any instructions to what to do once they got there. "It must be some kind of secret entrance," Connor said. The twins climbed off of Cornelius and inspected the boulder. They knocked on it as if it were a door, but nothing happened. Alex tried using magic to move it aside, but the boulder didn't move. "There must be a spell keeping it in place," Alex said. "Hagetta must have charmed it to keep intruders out. It must need some kind of password." "It doesn't need a password. It needs a whistle," said a voice behind the twins. Alex and Connor turned and saw Rook Robin standing on a hill nearby. Given their history, the twins weren't overjoyed to see him, but it was nice to see a familiar face nonetheless. "Rook, it's good to see you," Alex said. "Do you know where we are?" "We're in the West Hills of the Dwarf Forest," Rook said. "Jack, Goldilocks, and all the others are hiding in an abandoned mine on the other side of that boulder." "Do you know how to get inside?" Connor asked. "Only a special bird call will open it," Rook said. "But I know another way in. There's a tunnel on the other side of these hills. That's how I got out. Follow me." Alex and Connor still had reservations about trusting Rook, but they didn't have another choice. The twins and the unicorn followed him over the hills to a small tunnel whose entrance was camouflaged on the side of the hill. Rook held back cobwebs like a curtain and escorted Alex, Connor, and Cornelius inside. Rook had to give the unicorn a big push to squeeze him through the narrow entrance. The tunnel was very long and dark, but thanks to Cornelius's glowing horn, they could see everywhere they were going. "Do you know why they changed locations?" Alex asked Rook. "Well, the cave became really crowded after Jack and Goldilocks started rescuing refugees," Rook explained. "My village was among the first that they saved from the literary army." They've been retrieving people when and where they can, but it's been more difficult since the masked man rounded up all the citizens and put them in the lake. The royal families were the last to arrive. Jack and Goldilocks barely saved them from being executed. Knowing the royals were safe felt like a giant weight being lifted from the twins' shoulders. They sighed with relief and walked a little taller. "And where's the masked man?" Alex asked. "We didn't see him with the villains in the Northern Palace." "You haven't heard?" Rook asked. "We haven't been around in a while," Connor said. "What happened?" "The masked man is dead," he said. "The villains took over and had him killed." The news made Alex and Connor stop in their tracks. "Whoa, that's something," Connor said and shared a look with his sister. A person that they hated so much and felt so much anger towards was gone, but on the other hand, a family member was dead. The strangest part was not feeling grief for him. After thinking about it, they realized the loss didn't really change anything. The face and the name that they were fighting against might have changed, but their mission was still the same. Hopefully the battle ahead would be easier without him. Perhaps this meant the literary army would implode like a circus without a ringleader. "Everyone's going to be so thrilled to see you," Rook said. "How have you guys been?" He unintentionally directed the question at Alex, and her brother suddenly felt like a third wheel. As uncomfortable as it made Connor, it was nothing compared to how Alex felt. "We've been busy," Alex said. "My brother and I are recruiting an army to help fight the villains." I know I'm still earning your trust back, but let me know if I can help," Rook said. Alex kept trying to incorporate her brother into the conversation to make it less awkward, but Connor wanted nothing to do with it. Thank you, but I think we've got it under control," Alex said. "For the record, we do trust you." Rook smiled at her, but there was a sadness in his eyes. Obviously, he was hoping to regain a lot more than her trust. When Alex didn't smile back, the rest of Rook's face matched his eyes. They continued on through the tunnel, walking in silence that said 1,000 words. The worst part about life in the abandoned mine was the constant waiting. It might have been easier if the refugees had any indication of what they were waiting for, but with each passing day there was no good or bad news to share. They were becoming so restless that any information would have been better than none at all. To pass the time, the refugees formed a little academy within the mine and taught one another different skills. Jack and the Tin Woodsman taught the villagers how to sculpt using their axes. Soon, there wasn't a stalagmite in the mine that hadn't been carved into a squirrel, a beanstalk, a tower, or a mermaid. Robin Hood and the Merry Men gave the queens archery and sword-throwing lessons. The Sherwood natives became a little invasive of the queen's personal space while showing them how to improve their form and receive dirty looks from the kings. Red's granny and the old woman from the Shoe Inn kept the kings and soldiers busy with sewing lessons. After a few days, the men had produced their first quilt and proudly hung it on display for the rest to see. "Now remember, any man can shape a nation with a crown, but it takes a real man to start quilting from a thread," Granny said. Trollbella tried to teach Peter and the Lost Boys how to dance, but they weren't very enthusiastic students. It didn't matter how many times she went over the steps of her routine, the boys only goofed off and teased one another. "I don't know how much clearer I can be with you," Trollbella said. "It's step, touch, kick, ball, change, reach to the right, reach to the left, kick, ball, change, shimmy to the front, shimmy to the back, pirouette and pose. There's no nose picking, pants dropping, eye poking, tongue showing of any kind in my choreography." Peter made a funny face at the troll queen behind her back. All the Lost Boys laughed, and she turned around just in time to see it. When Trollbella had first laid eyes on the boy who never grew up, she was completely smitten. But the more his true colors show, the more she disliked him. He was all sparkle, but no substance. The Troll Queen figured it was time to break the news to him. She looked Peter Pan directly in the eye and caressed his face. "I had such high hopes for us, but I'm afraid it's not going to work out," Trollbella said. She covered Peter's mouth to silence his protest, even though he didn't try to argue. "We simply have different needs," Trollbella explained. "I'm looking for romantic strolls. You need a stroller. I'm looking for love and lust. You need a leash. I'm looking for butter boy, and you You're just a butter toy. Let's part as friends. Trouxbella sauntered away from Peter Pan and the Lost Boys. The boys exchanged puzzled looks, not sure if that was part of the dance lesson or not. Goldilocks lay in the corner of the mine, using Lester as a pillow and Claudius as a footstool. The expectant mother was overdue and very eager to deliver the baby. Her back aches and irritability increased every day. Jack had to take sharp objects away from her so she wouldn't have anything to throw during her mood swings. Hagetta boiled some herbs in her cauldron and gave her a concoction for the pain. The traveling tradesman dangled a triangular stone on a string over her pregnant belly and studied the movement very closely. Red watched the tradesman like he was a lunatic. "What are you doing?" Red asked. "I'm predicting the child's gender," the traveling tradesman said. "If the stone swings in a circle, it's a girl. If it moves back and forth, it's a boy." "And what if it gets ripped out of your hand and thrown across the mine?" Red asked. "It's all right. I already know it's going to be a boy," Goldilocks said. "How could you possibly know that?" Red asked. "Mother's intuition," Goldilocks said. "It's the only perk that comes with the bloating, the back pain, and the unstable emotions." "A niece would have been better for me," Red said. "I could dress her up in little dresses, apply blush to her tiny cheeks, and put dainty bows in her hair. But I suppose I could do that with a nephew too, though he might resent me later for it." Goldilocks rolled her eyes. "Your request has been submitted," she said. Red grabbed the string of the tradesman's triangular stone and forced it to swing in a circle above Goldilocks' stomach, as if that would do the trick. "Have you chosen a name yet?" Hagetta asked. "No, not yet," Goldilocks said. "I want his name to be special. I want it to mean something and to inspire him for his whole life." "You know, Red works for a boy and a girl," Red said, "and I happen to be very special and meaningful and an inspiring person." Goldilocks cringed at the thought of bringing another Red into the world. "No, absolutely not," she said. "I want it to be original and freeing, like River or Robin or Alex and Connor." Red scrunched up her nose and crossed her arms. "How are Alex and Connor original and freeing?" No, Alex and Connor," Goldilocks yelled. "Look over there." Goldilocks sat up and pointed to the back of the mine. Everyone went dead silent and turned towards where she was pointing. When they saw Alex and Connor entering with Rook and Cornelius, the refugees burst into cheers and the mine vibrated with joy. Although it hadn't been too long since they'd seen most of them, the twins felt like they were walking into a reunion. Their friends surrounded them and stood in lines to embrace them. There were so many familiar faces they weren't expecting to see that they didn't know who to say hello to first. Everyone looked tired, thinner, and paler than before. Everyone living in the mine had worn them down. "It's so wonderful to see you all," Alex said. "Goldilocks, you look like you're about to explode," Connor said. "From your mouth to God's ears," Goldilocks said. "Are you guys doing okay?" Alex asked. "Is everyone healthy and unharmed?" "We were just taking it one day at a time," Jack said. "How are you two? Where have you been?" Alex and Connor shared a smile, knowing their news would excite them. "Well, we've been in the other world, recruiting an army to fight the literary villains," Connor announced. "That's terrific," the Tin Woodsman said. "And what kind of army?" "Well, it's an army of my characters," Connor said. "We've used the portal portion on my short stories from school, and so far we've enlisted pirates, sailors, cyborgs, and I'll explain what those are later." All the refugees turned to the traveling tradesman. The old geezer crossed his arms, leaning on a stalagmite and glaring at the others with a look that said, "I told you so." "That is the best news we've had in ages," Sir Lambton said. "How soon until it's ready for battle?" "Well, it won't be long," Alex said. "We just have 2 more stops and the army will be complete." "Did you hear that, men?" Robin Hood asked of the merry men. "Soon we shall be out of the shadows of solitude and under the sunlight of war. How marvelous!" Red pushed past the villagers, animals, and other royals to get closer to the twins. "Excuse me, pardon me, a real friend is coming through," she said. "Alex and Connor, it is so lovely to see you all right. She grabbed them both by the shirts and frantically looked into their eyes. You've got to get me out of here. There are peasants and animals and men who talk to marbles, and Charlie isn't here to calm me down. The twins gently removed her hands from their clothes and took a step away. That's actually why we're here, Connor said. Our mom and stepdad are watching the characters for us while we recruit the others, but they need a hand, and we were hoping a few of you could come back and help them supervise. There are more characters than they can handle. How many people do you need? Jack asked. Alex and Connor looked around the mine. Red wasn't the only one who looked desperate for a break. The twins would have a hard time refusing anyone's help. The more the merrier, Connor said, but let's hurry. The people in this world need us. Alex set the storybook on the ground and opened the cover. The beam of light was the brightest thing that many of the refugees had seen in days, and they shielded their eyes. Before Connor could even explain where they were going, Red ran into the beam of light and disappeared from the mine. She was followed by Claudius, Jack, and Goldilocks, Robin Hood and the Merry Men, Lester and the Tin Woodsman, and Peter Pan and the Lost Boys. Connor had lost count of how many people were traveling into the other world when he felt a tap on his shoulder. You've come back for me, Butterboy, Trollbella said. I don't know why I was so worried. You never let me down before. I know the pain of being away from each other can be overwhelming, so please don't waste your energy with a personal request for me to accompany you. I'd be delighted to visit the other world. Before Connor could stop her, Trollbella ran into the beam of light with the others. Okay, well, we've definitely got enough help, Connor said. We should get back and finish recruiting the army. If any of you need us, we'll just be on the other side of this beam. We'll stay behind and look after the others, Sir Lambton said. Thank you, Alex said. We'll be back soon with help. Everyone stay safe. The twins stepped through the beam of light and returned to the other world. Sir Lambton, Sir Grant, Hagetta, the traveling tradesman, Rook, Cornelius, Red's granny, the old woman from the Shoe Inn, the royal families, and the villagers, and all the animals lowered their heads in a moment of silence. They all collectively said a prayer for the twins' success to continue and for them to be able to form an army to save the fairy tale world. Unfortunately for the occupants that remained, their quiet moment was interrupted by another unexpected visitor. Unbeknownst to Alex and Connor, they had been followed through the dwarf forest and into the secret tunnel. The refugees saw something moving in the back of the mine. They heard hissing and rattling coming from a large silhouette. What was that? Sir Grant asked. The soldiers drew their swords and walked towards the sound as a pair of bright red eyes glowed from the shadows. All the refugees froze where they stood, but they were frozen by much more than fear. Whoa. I did not see that coming. Did not see that coming. That's not good. That is real bad. I think that the creature just turned them all to stone, you guys. Alex and Connor and the others got out of there like literally with a split second to miss it. Did not see that coming. Okay, wow, well. Today is a very busy day. I got a lot of slime stuff to do. So if you have not voted in the poll on the Patreon, please go vote because it's about what day and time the restock will be. And I need to know so that I can announce it. Yeah, he really is. And then I will do that and I will see you all later. Maybe there'll be a slime live later. I do have more slime to make, so maybe I'll do it with y'all. And if you have not checked out the Millennial Girl Memories playlist or my story here, you should, because I've been posting videos of the slimes as I've been packaging them and stuff. So definitely check that out if you want to see what the slimes look like prior to purchasing them. All right, I'll see you all later. Bye, guys.